Hi friends, very good evening. Yes ma, welcome back to Let's Crack UPSC CSE English with India's largest learning platform, Unacademy. Let's crack it. Yes, please drop a confirmation message. Is everything is good to go? Yes. What all you will get under Unacademy platform? Needless to say, daily live classes, isn't it? Yes. Every day sharp 2 p.m. on YouTube platform. Of course, I'm doing classes on both YouTube as well as on the special class. Fine, ma'am. Afternoon session, probably I get myself engaged in YouTube and 9 to 8 to 10:30 daily on a routine basis. I'm doing the live classes on special. So you can stay connected in both the platform as a live learners. Fine, ma'am. What is the best part of live classes? The thing is that you can chat with your educator, engage in discussion, ask your doubts and answer polls all while the class is going on, isn't it? See how amazing thing is there. Why? Because you have given an opportunity to get your doubts clarified. Apart from this, live test and quizzes. Yes, very recently I have started doing quiz at the end of every live class, which will give you enormous benefit, that revision. Yes. Why? Because it's really high time. We are fast approaching 2021 prelims. You have to get yourself thorough with the prelims. So it is not that overnight or like last few months, or if you're going to do a couple of mock tests. No, that is not going to do anything. Actually, you have to get exposed on a daily basis, minimum 10-20 questions. Okay, so that is the best strategy and the right strategy to crack the prelims with ease. That is what we have started, and do come and participate. Earn while you learn. Yes, so you by attending the live quiz, you can earn the credits. Many of my students are using this credits during their subscription. Okay, so you can also, we are also providing an option for earning. Next, structured courses. All our courses are so structured and aligned with your exam syllabus in order to help you best prepare for it, isn't it? In one shot, I could say it is OSS for your PMI. One-stop solution for your prelim, mains and interview. Unlimited access to unlimited courses. What you have to do, one subscription gets you access to all our live and recorded courses to watch from the comfort of any of your devices, for which you have to download Unacademy learning app. Okay. Yes, my dear friends. This is me. Of course, I am your DL ma'am. I am Dhanalakshmi, senior, top and a very passionate educator. Friends, in search of pursuit of happiness in my life, always one of the major happiness lies in being as an educator for UPSC CSE category. Ma'am, why did you specific UPSC CSE? Because this is a field where I have an enormous amount of experience and expertise, like more than 15 years experience in this field. In one shot, I could say I'm ancient, medieval and modern to UPSC. Yes, this is like more than 15 years. With respect to my teaching experience, of course, I've stepped into civil service preparation 2004. I didn't know what you were all doing on 2004. Okay, fine. With respect to my teaching experience, yes, I'm one of the senior most educator in offline platform. I have a rich experience of more than 13 years, rich experience in teaching for UPSC CSE category across India. I take classes in Delhi, Hyderabad, Bangalore and Chennai. Since this is a COVID year, I'm happy in association with full-time faculty educator and Unacademy platform alone. Yes, ma'am. Apart from this, my credentials specific to civil service. Ma'am, why did you insist specific to civil service? Because I have other profile as well. Yes, I'm a group 2 officer. I have cleared my state service and I have also cleared more than 7 to 8 other competitive exams as well. Specific to civil service, yes, I'm twice interview candidate, UPSC interview candidate 2011 and 2017. Very, very special note is that 2017, I'm an all India topper. Yes, I topped one of the most challenging board. Despite becoming a topper, I couldn't come in the list because I was short of 9 marks in the overall score. Okay, that short was happened because in the main score, and very sad thing is that 2017 was my last attempt. Of course, my attempt got exhausted. But with 6 rich mains experience, yes, I have cleared prelims 6 times in a series. So in many of my classes, I've started saying the inputs, decoding prelims, previous year's prelim papers. How did I able to clear 6 time prelims with ease? So everything I've shared. So keep following me on a regular basis. Apart from a unique style of teaching, I'm known for my mentoring. Yes, my dear friends, I have mentored recruited more than 25,000 aspirants over a period of last 12 years. I haven't stopped just by mentoring. I have produced the result. Yes, I have produced the toppers and rankers in this UPSC field. My students are now happily and effectively working as an IAS and IPS officers across India. So you can reach your DL ma'am using this code DL10, who has an enormous amount of experience and expertise in this field. Yes, I would like to transform those to the future bureaucrats, present aspirants who are aspiring to reach your dream destination. My best wishes for all of you. Yes, so this is my code DL10. Do join in my Telegram channel so that all my class detail you get to know by joining in my Telegram channel, because every day I used to come and pin over there the class details. Fine. Don't forget to follow me in Unacademy profile as well. Of course, I've shared my profile link as well. Apart from this, what are the other benefits? Prepare with the top educators. Indeed is a blessing, isn't it? Yes, all the best brains are found under one roof, and needless to say, that roof is Unacademy. To name a few, Mrinal Sir, Roman Saini, Ayush Shangi, Sudarshan Gurjar, the list is endless. Utilize the platform to its fullest. Yes, comprehensive syllabus. What is this? Yes, my dear friends, here we provide you somewhere closer to 16K courses for UPSC CSE category alone. Ma'am, how it is possible to complete all the 16K? Not necessary. Because students should never come with a complaint saying that there is a deficit of courses. No, we provide everything in excess. Okay, fine. So it is up to you for which course or which phase of the civil service you are looking for. You cherry pick the courses. Before that, you cherry pick, of course, you choose your educator and keep following them on a regular basis. One subscription, unlimited benefits. Aren't they? Yes, my dear friends. Learn live from the comfort of your home. This is what this greatest blessing I could say. Why? Because I didn't get this opportunity. Of course, many of the veterans and the seniors and officers who have cleared the civil service, they were able to reach that height after lots and lots of sacrifices. A glaring example is your DL ma'am. Yes, in order to pursue the civil service coaching, not that after clearing the exams training. That is a different story. But for pursue the coaching itself, I have to do a lot number of sacrifices. Yes, when I started my preparation on 2004, my son was only 2 years old. We have to leave the kid. I have to migrate from here, Chennai to Delhi. Then only I have been, after crisscrossing, after sacrificing lot more, only I have given an opportunity to, of course, acquire the knowledge of civil service. But that is not the case with you all. Yes, you're all learning live from the comfort of your home. Count your blessings. You all have to do only one thing, is that channelize your efforts in the right direction, isn't it, ma'am? Yes. Next is unlimited access to all courses. Top educators of India on one platform. Here again, this is an amazing, because all the best brains of India are found under one roof, and needless to say, that roof is Unacademy. Exhaustive coverage of syllabus, regular doubt clearing sessions. Yes, in my AMA sessions, very often we'll be doing a mains answer writing, doubt sessions, everything. Live test series, study material, answer writing session, mentorship and guidance. Yes, so when you have an enormous benefits in front of you, which is stopping you to take the subscription? I didn't understand. Go for it, because this is an amazing benefit. Next, ma'am. With respect to the fees details, yes, always I recommend for 24 months. Please don't waste your parents' money by going less than 24 months. In no way it will help you in your civil service preparation. These two factors you have to consider before. One is the minimum time frame and huge monetary benefit. Isn't it? Is it possible to crack the so-called one of the hardest nut with less than 1 year? You may take 1 year, of course, subscription, but at the end of 1 year, again you will push to take another 1 more year. Why? Because you will be in the middle. You will have a feeling that you have completed only half, still half more you have to reach. So it is always the smart decision and wise decision is that to go for 24 months. Yes. So with respect to the time frame, yes, it is very much possible to prepare civil service with 1.5 years preparation coupled with indomitable spirit. Okay, fine. So for the entire 24 months, by using my code DL10, you have to pay only 64,800. If you are a college students, if you want that, ma'am, for a safer side, let me offer 36 months itself. Okay. Yes, in that case, here again, that is a smart decision. For entire 36 months, by using my code DL10, you have to pay only 81,100. This is here we provide you an EMI option, no cost EMI, and is also companies very kind in providing for the loan option for the student as well. So utilize it to its fullest. Next, ma'am. What is this iconic? Of course, iconic. Apart from these things, live classes, test series, unlimited practice, structured courses, are you looking for personal coach? Yes. You're ready to write the answers on a daily basis. You want them to get evaluated. Customized study plan, personalized feedback. If these were all your requirements you are seeking for, then definitely those get fulfilled under iconic subscription. Here again, for entire 24 months, the fees is 96,300 by using your DL code DL10. For 36 months, of course, the fees is 1,26,900. Here again, use your DL code DL10. Fine, ma'am. What is this mentoring? What is this iconic subscription as such? Yes, mentoring is a brain to pick. You're here to listen and a push into the right direction, isn't it? I think you all agree with this. Mentors are all around us who makes you feel confident, inspired and focused and is willing to share their experience. Yes, this is one of the most important. They will share their experience. They will say what mistakes they have committed. So they will help you. They'll shield you from committing those mistakes. That is the greatest blessing I could say, because this field is like that. Okay, they help in minimizing your mistakes and maximizing your success. Okay, mentoring, of course, successful people never reach their goals alone. Yes, my dear friends. So irrespective of the starting point, you can start your journey at any point of India, at any place, even sitting in the remotest corner of any village. You have every right to prepare for civil service examination, but you all want to come and reach the dream destination, Labasna. So your journey should be point to point, P to P. There should be no stoppage in between. Once you have started, you should stop only at the doorsteps of Labasna. Yes, my dear friends, this is called coaching. Apart from the regular teaching, regular concept clarity, you are in dire need of somebody has got to say you what to do, what not to do, and how to do. Of course, those things get taken care in this mentoring process, which comes under iconic. Yes, I become a mentor because I wanted to give the thing I didn't realize is how much I would get. So, good enough, better, best. So, this is all the end result objective of mentoring. My best wishes for all of you. Fine, ma'am. Today's class is it's a very important topic with respect to modern India. Why, ma'am? Because this is important both from prelim as well as from mains point of view. So I think without any further delay, we can begin the session. Regulating Act. In the first slot, of course, I'm going to do this topic in 2 slots. Okay, because it is little bit lengthy topic. I don't want you to get exhausted. And it is also a little bit, we have to remember facts. In this first session, I'll try to complete Regulating Act and Pitt India Act. In the second slot, we will be doing Charter Act. Is this fine, ma'am? Is this fine for everyone? Yes. First, let us begin with Regulating Act 1773. So, let us remember the number, year 1773. What is this? Regulating Act was passed in the British Parliament in June 1773. It was the first parliamentary ratification and authorization defining what? The powers and authority of East Indian Company. Oh my God. For the East Indian Company, which was the first parliamentary ratification and authorization. Of course, it has been described in the Regulating Act of 1773. With respect to its Indian possession. So try to remember this. 1773 Regulating Act is the first parliamentary ratification and authorization which defining the powers and authority of East Indian Company with respect to its relationship with Indian possession. Okay. Next. Of course, East Indian Company phase. Regulating Act. This is the first parliamentary. Yes, it talks about the ratification and the power. Pitt India Act. Charter Act 1793, of course, Charter Act 1813, 1833, 1853. These are the topics we are going to discuss in today's class. Yes, ma'am. So the regulating acts, just see the description, how it is. Good. Fine. So Regulating Act 1773 was whose period was during Warren Hastings. He was the first Governor General of Bengal. Became the Governor of Bengal in 1772 and Governor General in 1773 under the Regulating Act. Abolition of dual system of administration. So he was initially was a Governor of Bengal in 1772. Then only has become a Governor General in 1773. Who? WH. Who is this WH? Warren Hastings. So try to remember, very, very important. Now, what is the first point with respect to this? Abolition of dual system of administration. Regulating Act of 1773 was of great constitutional importance. Why it was of great constitutional importance? Because it was the first step taken by the British government to control and regulate. Try to understand, try to underline the statement. It is taken by the British government, by the Parliament, to control and regulate the affairs of East Indian Company in India and also recognize the political and administrative functions of the company for the very first time. Okay, anything is the first, it's a highly important. So please do remember. Next, it is designated the Governor General of Bengal and created an executive council of 4 members to assist him. So it has done. Who is the Governor General of Bengal? Of course, it is a Warren Hastings. When? 1772. Then only have become a Governor General. Initially was a Governor of Bengal. Then he was a Governor General in 1773. Fine. For him, for his assistance, for his work, they have created an executive council which consists of 4 members. Okay. Next is Lord Warren Hastings was the first Governor General of Bengal, Governor of Bombay and Madras Presidency, subordinate to the Governor General of Bengal. So try to put a chart here. Governor General of Bengal. Okay. GGB. Under him, okay, who are subordinate to him? Yes, Governor of Bombay and Governor of Madras Presidencies or subordinate to Governor General of Bengal. Is this fine? Because they are just a Governor of Bombay and Governor of Madras Presidency, whereas Warren Hastings was Governor General of Bengal. Okay, so try to remember this. It provided for the establishment of which Regulating Act, very, very important from prelim point of view, Statement 3 and Statement 4. The Regulating Act 1773 provided for the establishment of Supreme Court at Calcutta. When Supreme Court at Calcutta, when? 1774, with 1 Chief Justice and 3 other judges. Imperial Court, Eliza MP. Try to remember, this is from prelim point of view. This point is very, very important. Next, a Court of Directors, governing body of the company, to report on its revenue, civil, and military affairs. Is this fine? Is this fine for everyone? Fine. So who is the first? Initially, Warren Hastings was just a Governor of Bengal in 1772. Then he has been he became as a Governor General of Bengal in 1773. Of course, this Regulation Act is a abolition of a dual system of administration, and many more we'll be discussing right away. This. What is the Regulating Act of 1773? This act was passed by the British Parliament to who? To control the territories. So, regulate and control the powers of East Indian Company on its Indian possession. Yes or no? The territories, to control the territories of East Indian Company, majorly in Bengal. This act was passed. Why? Due to the So, first is like what? What is this? What is this act is? To control, was passed by the British Parliament. Why? To control the territories of the East Indian Company, majorly in Bengal. Why this act has been passed. What is the reason behind it? So can we remember like this? The reason why Regulating Act 1773? Because this act was passed due to the misgovernment. Okay, misgovernment by the British East Indian government, British East India government, that introduced the situation of bankruptcy, and the government had to interfere with the affairs of the company. So this is the reason, because of the misgovernment and bankruptcy situation. So the position, now there is a situation rises where they need an interference and they have to sort out this issue. Reasons behind 1773, very very important, which is nothing but why there is a need for 1773 Act. What is the first reason? Territorial expansion. What is the second? Corruption. Very, I think right from then even now, corruption is a word which we can't remove from the society, isn't it, ma? Since then till now, I don't know how long it's going to go. When will we see corruption free India? Okay, corruption among the servants of the company, lack of proper judicial administration, lack of proper central authority, deteriorating financial condition of the company's defeat in 1769. Which East Indian company? Defeat in 1769 at the hands of Hyder Ali. Terrible famine in Bengal, and the company applied for a loan of £1 million in 1772. My goodness, it is not an outcome of one factor. It was an outcome of a series of factors and reasons which has finally pushed the British Parliament to come up with the Regulating Act of 1773. What are the reasons? One is that territorial expansion. Second is that more number of corruptions, increase in corruptions against the servants of the East Indian Company and in the offices. Next is lack of proper judicial administration, lack of proper central authority. Nothing is so systemized and organized. So what is the point in it? Deteriorating financial condition, that is called bankruptcy, isn't it? Deteriorating financial condition of the company, and above all, it got badly defeated. Where? At the hands of Hyder Ali, of course, in Mysore in the year 1769, and also which is coupled with terrible famine in the year in Bengal. Okay, try to remember, defeat 1769. So the company, at last the company is going and standing, East Indian Company is going and standing in front of the British Parliament. Yes, I am in need of a loan in order to clear my debts, in order to overcome the problems I have. I have a problem of this famine is going, my bankruptcy is like this is. So please extend me a loan of like £1 million. Of course, they have requested for £1 million in the year 1772. If you are a good administrator, why it's going to be a bankruptcy? Why you are in need of a loan, isn't it? So the British has thought that yes, this is a misgovernment. The problem lies with the East Indian Company. Next. So now the Regulating Act was passed in the British Parliament in June 1773. It was the first parliamentary ratification and authorization defining the powers and authority of the East Indian Company with respect to its Indian possession. Try to remember this point, ma, because anything is first is very very important. Next. Background reason, just now we have discussed, the East Indian Company was in severe financial crisis and has asked a loan of £1 million from the British government. So the British government, see, he doesn't know how to rule this place, he doesn't know how to establish this, and he's coming and standing in a very bad shape, that is asking for that to £1 million. No. Allegations of corruption, so much of complaints reaches the British Parliament. Yes, see, this much, so many officials in the East Indian companies are showing favoritism, nepotism, corruption were rampant against company officials. So this is the first point, this is the second point, coupled with the terrible famine in Bengal, where a huge population, at last finally the population got perished. They are suffering at the famine. Okay, the dual form of administration is instituted by. So what is that dual form? Initially, who was introduced this dual form of administration, ma? It was during the period of Robert Clive. Try to remember the personality. It is very very important from prelim point of view. Yes, the dual form of administration institution by Robert Clive was complex and drawing a lot of complaints. According to to this system, the company had a Diwani rights obtained after the Battle of Buxar in Bengal and the Nawab. Okay, so the dual government system. Who is that? One is like Diwani rights. Revenue collection goes to the East Indian Company. Okay, revenue goes to East Indian Company. They get this after they won in the Battle of Buxar, okay, in Bengal. And the Nawab, of course, the Nawab had a Nizamat rights. What is this Nizamat? Try to remember this terminology because UPSC is fond of asking the terms. Okay, what does Nizamat mean? Is it judicial, administrative, revenue? Yes, of course, it is a judicial and policing rights. Okay, yes, ma. So Nizamat rights, judicial and policing rights are secured from the Mughal emperor. So what conclusion they are coming? What is this dual form of government? Come on. In any administration, of course, in any province, what will be the things? Major things will be there: judicial, policing, revenue. Of course, revenue. Now, this East Indian Company, they are getting into the negotiation with the Nawab, saying that, my dear Nawab, don't worry, because we have a right, Diwani rights, that is collecting the revenue, that too after the Battle of Buxar. So we will take care of the revenue collections. Okay, you focus on judicial and policing rights. So this, it will come under your action, under your ambit, and we will take care of the entire Diwani rights. But this was only for the namesake. Why? In reality, both the powers means everything, revenue collection, policing, judicial, administration, everything comes under the East Indian Company. The Nawab was only a mere puppet. He can't take any decision of its own. How sad it is. How sad it is when he has to give away all the powers with respect to revenue, administration, judicial, policing. Then he is only for the namesake only he is a Nawab. He can't take any decision of its own. In reality, both the powers were vested with the East Indian Company only. The farmers and the general population suffered as their improvement was neglected. Why? Because if Nawab means, at least he could show some consideration for the farmers and the general population. They'll take care. But now this control is in reality, the control vests in the hands of East Indian Company. They never ever had any, of course, they were never bothered to take care of the farmers and the general public welfare. They were always busy in squeezing the money and utilizing for their purpose. And the company was only concerned with maximizing revenue. Lawlessness increased in Bengal. Yes, maladministration. The defeat of the company, added to all these things, the defeat of the company at the hands of course, against against Hyder Ali in the year 1769. Are you getting it, ma'am? Fine. So next, moving to the next is provisions. What are the provisions of Regulating Act? This act permitted the company to retain its territorial positions in India. Okay, so what all the company has the rights. Now this is very, very interesting. This act, which act? Regulating Act of 1773, permitted the company to retain its territorial positions in India, but sought to regulate the activities and functioning of the company. They were not left to the free hand. Now they comes under the control of British. Of course, they sought to regulate the activities and my eyes upon you. So the British Parliament is saying, yes, you are given the right to retain the territorial position, but don't think that you can act as per your wish like what you were doing earlier. No, hereafter you will be monitored. Regulate the activities and functioning. It did not take over the power completely and hence called regulating. So it's very beautiful now, because see, two words is regulation and prohibition. Prohibition, of course, like in national park, no to human settlement, isn't it? Completely prohibited. There is no, you don't have any space. You don't have any right to get in. Whereas in wildlife sanctuary, allowed with regulation, isn't it? Such like, for the mistakes, they have a huge lot of mistakes they have done. So much of complaint went into the British Parliament against the East Indian Company. So the British Parliament doesn't give the judgment that yes, all of your rights is totally taken care of. You have been completely. No, they are giving a chance. Come on. So you're in a bad shape now. You're in a bad position now. But still, I'm giving you an opportunity. Like Furthermore, your powers will be regulated. So be aware, you have to work on it such a way. Fine. So it has not been completely taken over, it has only regulated. The act provided for the, so this is first point. So this implies in the name itself, regulating act. It is not completely prohibited or stopped something. Next, the act provided for the appointment of a governor general along with the 4 councillors in the presidency of Fort William. Who is the governor general, ma? Of course, Warren Hastings, isn't it? So this act, regulating act, provided for the appointment of a governor general along with you. We need a people, we need a councillor to help him in his function, because his role is getting widened, expanded. Now he has to take care of lot. So he has to be assisted with the 4 councillors in the presidency of course, Fort William, Calcutta, jointly called the Governor General in Council. Okay, Governor General plus 4 councillors. Is this fine? Then, who is this? As per this, Warren Hastings, WH, was appointed as the Governor General of the presidency of Fort William, that is Bengal. The Governor in Councils at, how many Governor in Councils, ma? Governor councillors, how many? 4, na? Governor in councils at Madras and Bombay were brought under the control of Bengal, especially in which matter? In external affairs, foreign policy, of course, Governor General of Bengal. Okay, of course, this is Warren Hastings. Under his control only, Governor of Bombay and Governor of Madras presidency comes. Why? That too especially. So Governor of Bombay and Madras, whatever they wanted to take decision with respect to the foreign policy, of course they has to discuss with Governor General of Bengal. Next, especially in the matters of foreign policy, now they could not wage war against Indian states without the Bengal's approval, without the Governor General of Bengal's approval. External affairs, very, very important. Defense, finance and external affairs is a very important for every state, every province and every nation. When that was been under the hands of someone else, here again it is a puppet. Okay, so they can't wage a war against any other state. Just like that, if they wanted to wage a war, they have to take the rights. Of course, they have to get the approval from the Governor General of Bengal. Next, the company directors were elected for a period of 5 years and 1/4 of them were to retire every year. So what is the tenure, ma? Company directors, what is the tenure? For 5 years. But it is not permanent. That is, what does it mean? Means that 1/4 of them were to retire every year, and also they could not be re-elected. I think now you will have a think that, ma'am, these points is looking like we are reading a polity. Of course, in your polity, before you begin with the constitution, you have to go through this regulating act, Pitt India Act. So it's very easy if you remember this. The company directors, of course, elected for 5 years and 1/4 of them were to retire every year. Is there any possibility of re-election? Once you are elected, once you are into the post, there is no space for you for the re-election. Is this fine? The company directors were directed to make public all correspondence on revenue, civil and military matters within the Indian authorities before the British authorities. The company directors were directed to make public all correspondence. So anything with respect to the revenue matters, civil and military matters with Indian authority, everything they have to produce before the British authorities. A Supreme Court of Judicature, very, very important point. When does it got established? Was established at Calcutta. Who is the first Chief Justice? Try to remember this name from prelim point of view. Extremely important. A Supreme Court of Judicature was established at Calcutta with Sir Elijah Impey. Who is that first Chief Justice? Sir Elijah Impey as the first Chief Justice. Judges were to come from England. Of course, they'll be coming from England. It had both the civil as well as the criminal jurisdiction over the British subjects and not on Indian natives. Here again, there is a discrimination, isn't it? Yes. So the Supreme Court of Judicature, it was established in Calcutta. Of course, it is in the 1774 with Sir Elijah Impey as the first Chief Justice. It has rights of both the civil and criminal. over the British subjects, not on the Indian natives. The judges were coming from where? From England. They were not recruited from the India. Next, importance of regulating act. What is the importance? Transfer of power from the company to the crown. Is it a complete transfer of power? Is it a complete transfer of power? No. When does a complete transfer of power from East Indian Company to the British Crown takes place? Can anyone give me an answer? Yes, my dear friends, I am very sure that you know this answer because if you are strong with 1857 revolt, isn't it? Complete transfer of power from the East Indian Company to the big B, British Crown. Queen Proclamation, isn't it? Magna Carta. That has happened only on 1850, after 1857 revolt by 1858 Act. But here it is not a complete transfer of power. The power with regulation, isn't it? So please be very careful. There is a huge difference between the complete transfer and transfer of powers from company to the crown. C to C. What is the C to C? Of course, East Indian Company to crown. Who is this crown? Big B. Okay. Second. What is the second point? Establishment of collective rule in place of one man's rule. Honest step in the direction of granting a clean administration to the people of India. Prohibition of private trade and make the beginning of the era of political development. So these are some of the importance of regulating act. What are the defects? Is there any defects in this act? Of course, any act or policy, it cannot escape from criticism, isn't it, ma? In general, okay? So let us get into it. What are all the common defects which have been noticed on the regulating act? What is an object? Object is good. The object of the act was good, but what is this but? But the system that it established was imperfect. Imperfect control of Governor General over the council. Governor General, he has to be assisted by 4 councillors, isn't it? But the control was imperfect control. It is not perfect. Though they had an objective that, but it doesn't reach the results. Of course, imperfect control. This is one of the major defects. Control of the Governor General over whom? Over the council. Jurisdiction of the Supreme Court not clearly mentioned. Here again, this is your prelim point. So please be very careful on these points. Does the jurisdiction of the Supreme Court has been clearly demarcated? No, there was a confusion. Next, Governor General under the Supreme Court. You have made Governor General, of course, he was under the Supreme Court. Imperfect control of the Governor General over the Governor of Bombay and Madras. Do you remember? See, Governor General of Bengal is very, very important. He is the head both for the councillors as well as he has to, under him only the Governor of Bombay and Madras Presidency. They can't take any decision with respect to the foreign policy, isn't it? Even if they wanted to wage a war against the state, they can't do it without the approval of the Governor General. When he had a power, but it was an imperfect control. See, 2 places we have seen this word as control over the councillors also was imperfect, and simultaneously his control over the Governor of Bombay and Madras was also imperfect. Next is vague control of the Parliament over the company. What is this Parliament that? Yes, I am going to regulate and monitor your activities. That is an objective, na? Isn't it? This is the first parliamentary action. But though it has started with a good push, but it hasn't reached the desired result. Vague control. It was not so organized. Vague control of the Parliament, British Parliament over the East Indian Company. You can say vague control of the Crown over the company. Yes or no? Both are same. Oligarchy in the company. So these are all the problems. Defects of Regulating Act. The major drawbacks of the Regulating Act of 1773 are stated below. The Governor General did not have a veto power. First point, he doesn't have a power because it comes under the Supreme Court. Na? Governor General under Supreme Court, he doesn't have a veto power. This is the point to be noted. Very, very important point. First point. Second, it did not address the concerns of the Indian population who were paying revenue to the company. How? See, the Governor General, he has to take care of the subjects. Subjects means the population, the farmers and the poor people, everyone. Because from their tax payment only, their revenue only, the company is benefited. But he failed to take care of the concerns of the Indian population who were paying revenue to the company. This is one of the second major followed. He did not stop the corruption among the company official. What is an objective of having this act? Why did the British Parliament try to bring this act? Because one of the complaint is that they had a list of complaints. Among that, one of the complaint is that rampant corruption, nepotism. Even after setting this act also, even after giving this also, that there was no decrease in corruption. Then what is the point of it? What is the point of having this act? Are you getting it, ma? It did not stop the corruption which was expected. The Supreme Court's power. So this is third point. People concern was not taken consideration. Second point. Corruption was the third point. Fourth is the Supreme Court power were not well defined. The demarcation. Here again there is a lots and lots of confusion. Next is the parliamentary control that was sought in the activities of the company proved to be ineffective as there was no mechanism to study the report sent by the Governor General in Council. What are you saying? The parliamentary, all my dear Governor Generals, of course, you all have to send a report with respect to this. When the reports reached it, but there is no proper mechanism to go through this, then what is the point of collecting the reports? When you make a complaint, okay, with the belief that the complaint is said that, okay, it will be looked into it. It has been just added up as a filed up paper only, like a red tapeism. Yes or no? The parliamentary control that was sought in the activities of the company proved to be ineffective. It was not given any proper effectiveness in it. As there was no mechanism, you have said that you have to send the reports to the parliament, for which only have convened the Governor General, which consists of Governor General Councillor. It consists of 4 members. When these people they send the report, of course on the Parliament side they should have a mechanism to check into the reports, study the reports, but no such thing is found. Okay, then how do you get a result? How your grievance? You have a mechanism for grievance. You have a platform to raise the complaint. The complaint also has raised, but there is no mechanism for the grievance redressal. Are you getting it? Fine. Next. So next is that's it, ma. So the regulating act is done. Of course, I think you have an idea. What is in the name itself is giving a clue that it is not a complete takeover of the powers from East Indian Company. It is just a regulation, control and regulate. So Regulating Act of 1773 was the first parliamentary step in controlling and regulating the actions of East Indian Company. Then we have also discussed why this act. I mean, what are all the reasons which has pushed for the formation of Regulating Act. We have discussed that in detail. We have also discussed the provisions of the Regulating Act, such like the Governor General. Then it is the Governor General of Bengal, under whom the Governor of Bombay and Governor of Madras Presidency they comes under, and all success for this Governor General he will be assisted by a councillor. And also we have discussed the drawback fallout of the Regulating Act. Is this clear, ma? Is this clear? Hope you understand. So what is a major fallout? Does the Governor General has given a complete power? No, he doesn't have a veto power. And Supreme Court, there is not well defined and did not address the Indian population. Of course, for Indian people and the farmers' concern has not taken into consideration. Parliamentary control was sought in the activities of the company ineffective. Such like the drawbacks of the Regulating Act, it runs for 7 to 8 points. Is this fine? Yes, ma'am. Please. Can I move on to the next act? Settlement Act of 1781. So we have completed one act. 1773 Regulating Act is done. Everything we have discussed with this. Now we are moving to the second act, is 1781. What is this act is all about? Settlement Act of 1781, separation of executive and judiciary. Yes, it is also known as amending act or declaratory act. So, Settlement Act of 1781 is also known as an amending act or declaratory act of 1781. It intended to rectify the shortcomings of the regulating, of course. So, is the regulating act is without any drawbacks? No, it has its own shortcomings. So, next comes act is that Settlement Act. It is also known as an amending act or a declaratory act which has been formed, which has been convened in order to address, rectify the shortcomings of regulating act. This is first point. Second is, earlier the company employees were under both the Governor General of Bengal and the Supreme Court. Through this act, the powers of Supreme Court was limited. Very, very important, because in the catch itself, separation of executive and the judiciary. In regulating act, we have discussed that Governor General under Supreme Court. Here, the power of Supreme Court as limited regulator. Third point, the geographical jurisdiction of the Supreme Court got limited to Calcutta. In regulating act, this was one of the major drawbacks. Yes or no? The Supreme Court limitation is not well defined. Jurisdiction of the Supreme Court is not well defined. In this Act, 1781 Act, it got limited to Calcutta, and thus also limiting its appellate jurisdiction and required appeals to be taken to Governor General in Council. Are you getting it, ma? So now you know the follow-up action. 1773 Supreme Court limit is not clear, means jurisdiction is not clear, means it got cleared. Of course, it got, we know this jurisdiction, it got limited to Calcutta alone. In which act? 1781. Is this fine? Yes, thus limiting its appellate jurisdiction and the required appeals to be taken to the GG in Council. Next, fourth point. Religion-based laws were established and separate Hindu and Muslim law system came into existence. Extremely important. So in any prelims, in any statement based, you can have which was the first act which has brought the separate Hindu and Muslim law. Of course, the answer is 1781 Act, isn't it? Yes. Though the Governor General could issue rules, ordinances and regulations, they were to be registered in the Supreme Court. But this doesn't mean judicial review. Of course, Article 13 in the Indian Constitution was adopted from the British. It was adopted from the United States, of course. So the Governor General could issue rules, ordinances and regulations, but they were to be registered in the Supreme Court. So it's very, very clear. 1781 is all about the trying to find out the shortcomings of the Regulating Act of 1773, and prime objective is that separation of executive and judiciary. Is this clear, ma? Is this clear? Am I fast? Please let me know. Okay, let me scale down my speed. Is this fine? Next is Pitt's India Act 1784. Just now you say me, is Regulating Act is clear? Regulating Act of 1773. What is this which has resulted to? Of course, Settlement Act or Amendment Act or Declaratory Act. Which one? 1781. Okay, see, check the chronology. 1773, 1783, mainly this act, Settlement Act, separation of judiciary from executive, to check the shortcomings of regulatory act. So all the shortcomings, majority of the shortcomings noticed in the regulatory act got rectified in the Settlement Act of 1781. Is this clear? Till now we have completed two important acts. Now over to the next. Pitt's India Act of 1784, 1784. It's nice number, na? So third is PI, Pitt's India Act of 1784. Now let us have a small background story with respect to this. Failure of a company, East Indian Company in Anglo-Maratha War. Already it is failure of company where, ma? It has happened in Mysore War. Hyder Ali's Mysore War, 1769. Do you remember? Again a failure. Failure of company in Anglo-Maratha War. Again company was under financial pressure. That's it. Every time it get defeats in the war and now it had up to the debts and it becomes facing a bankruptcy, apply to a state for another million. Once again, East Indian Company, because of his inefficiency, because of his maladministration, because of the corruption, incapable administration, going and standing in front of the big B. Crown. G, please, I'm in a loan of millions of pounds. What is this year? How many times you will face this crisis? You empty the what is it? You empty the bureau. You empty what you're doing it. Okay. Again, it's applied to a state for another loan of 1 million pounds. Demand was raised to put company under a British Crown. Indian bill introduced in the British Parliament which sought to transfer all the political and the military power of the company to the Crown. So the bill, now one bill is they are getting introduced in the British Parliament. What is that? What is an objective of the bill? The bill is asking to transfer all the political and the military power of the company. Company is inefficient. Company is becoming worse in maladministration, corruption. So hereafter we should not show any mercy or no warning or regulation. It's better you take all the political and military power of the company. It should come into the hands of a crown, British Crown. Bill could not be passed in the parliament. This was an request, but it couldn't get passed in the parliament. William Pitt. So which personality you have to remember with respect to regulating act? W.H. Warren Hastings. With respect to Pitt's India Act, it is William Pitt. Here itself we have a clue now. Yes, it is William Pitt. William Pitt became the prime minister. He became the prime minister and presented another bill. One bill, India bill, it got rejected. It couldn't get passed in the parliament. Now William Pitt, he is raising another bill which again sought to bring company under a greater control of British Crown. Are you getting a storyline, ma'am? It's very interesting, na? Next. According to Pitt's India Act of 1784, Governor General had to obey the Court of Directors and Board of Control. So now as per 1784 Act, what is the rules here? He has to obey the Court of Directors, CD, as well as BC. What is this? Court of Directors and Board of Control. Are you getting it, ma'am? Okay. Governor General had to obey the Court of Directors and Board of Control. Who all comes under Board of Control? Okay. Now let us check BC. Okay. A board of 6 commissioners where it has to be set up in England, which was called as a board control. BC, which is nothing but under this they will have a 6 commissioners which has to be set up not in India, not in here. It has to be set up in the England, which it was consisted of, who are the 6 persons? Of course, who are the 6 commissioners? One is that Secretary of the State. Second is that Chancellor of Exchequer. Third is that 4 other members from Privy Council to be appointed by the Crown. So out of 6 now we got 4, 5, 6, isn't it? A Secretary of the State who he has to act as a chairman. Okay, chairman of the board. So this board of control has to be set, which consists of 6 commissioners. Secretary, he is a chairman of this board of control. Second person is a chancellor of Exchequer. Remaining 4, these 4 members from Privy Council to be appointed by the Crown, by the British Crown. So this is a composition with respect to the 6 commissioners. Is this clear? Very, very important from prelim point of view, from statement based. Okay. Now, Pitt's Indian Act 1784, of course, a governing body was constituted with 6 members. Now you know the ratio. 2 of whom were the members of the British cabinet and the remaining from the Privy Council. The board also had a president who should effectively become the minister for the affairs of the East Indian Company. The act stated that the board would henceforth superintended, direct and control the agreement of the company's possession in effect of controlling the acts and operation relation to civil, military, revenue of the company. So what it is trying to say, the gist of is that the governing body, of course, it consists of 6 members, 2 from the British cabinet, or in that 4, 2 from British cabinet, 2 remaining from the Privy Council. The board also had a president who has effectively become the minister for the affairs of East Indian Company. The act stated that the Pitt India Act, what it is trying to say, it is trying to emphasize that the board would henceforth superintend, direct and control. So the ultimate authority lies with the board. The board will direct and control the government of the company possession in effect of controlling the acts and operation relating to what? Its control. It can control relating to civil, military and revenue, everything. Okay. The government of the company possession in effect of controlling the acts and operation relating to the civil, military and revenue of the company. Is this clear, ma? Is this clear? Pitt India Act, establishment of the board of control. Just give me a moment. Okay. Pitt India Act 1784, establishment of a board of control consisting of how many members? 6 members. Now you know the composition of 6, isn't it? Who were called as commissioners. 6 commissioners. What? To supervise and to control the government of India. Very, very important first point. Yes or no? The establishment of the board of control consisting of 6 members who were called commissioners. In general, all the 6 members in a common term, they are called as a commissioner. One will be a secretary of the state, second will be a councillor of exchequer, and remaining 4 members from the Privy Council, 2 from the British cabinet. That is in 4, 2 from Privy Council, 2 from the British cabinet, isn't it? Consisting of 6 members. So generally, they will be called as a commissioners to supervise and to control the government of India. Court of Directors were given power to make all appointments in India. So these Court of Directors were given power to make all appointments in India, distinguished between the commercial and political functions of the company. So the appointments lies. This point is very, very important, ma. All appointments. Okay. Court of Directors were given power to make all appointments in India. Then they are trying to distinguish between what all the commercial functions. Okay. A clean line of demarcation. What all comes under the political functions of the company. Court of Directors were to manage the commercial affairs and board of control to manage the political affairs. Very interesting, because under these 2 things, the Court of Directors, they have the appointment power, and board of control, of course, they have a what? Political affairs. So Court of Directors, commercial. Okay, I'll make a chart now. And Board of Directors, political. Dual system of government here established. Reduction of the number of the members of the Council of the Governor General to 3. Do you remember in last council, Governor General councillors, how much? Initially it was 4. Under Pitt India Act, from 4, it got reduced to 3. See, reduction of the number of members of the Council of the Governor General to 3 from 4. Why? In order to make him more powerful and efficient. Yes, they wanted to give more weightage to the Governor General. So they felt that it is enough if he will be assisted by only through councillors. Okay, initially it was 4 during the regular previous act, and now it has got reduced to from 4, 3 only. Yes or no, ma? Yes or no? Yes, even here we can make it. So what is this? Court of Directors. Okay. Under him, can we write CC, commercial affairs? He has to take care of commercial affairs. Am I right? Also, all appointment. Court of Directors were given power to make all appointments in India. So appointment related, everything rests in the hands of Court of Directors. Okay. Now, what is this Board of Control? Board of Control, what they has to take role? They has to Board of Control consisting of how many members? 6 members. All 6 members in general, they are called as a commissioners. Do you remember? Commissioners, yes. And what is this? First is a Secretary of the State. Of course, he is a chairman. And second is a exchequer, councillor. Okay. and the remaining 4 members, 2 from the British cabinet. I mean, in general, they have said that they are from the Privy Council. Okay. Now, what is the role of the Board of Control? They has to take care of political affairs. CC. What is the CC? Court of Directors. They'll take care of a commercial. Board of Control. They take care of a political affairs. For Court of Directors, not only commercial but also appointment. So can we remember easily CA? What is the CA? One is with respect to commercial affairs, another one with respect to appointment. So Court of Directors. Can we remember CA easily? Court of Directors, commercial affairs and appointment. Here Board of Control. Board of Control, of course, political, isn't it? Yes. So this point you have to remember. Apart from this is called the dual system of government was established. Now earlier to it, earlier what? The Governor General. Now they wanted to make the Governor General power more. So they have realized, they have felt that now the councillors, initially it was 4, now it has got reduced from 4 to 3 in order to make Governor General more powerful and efficient. Is this fine, ma? Is this fine till now? Are you getting it? Okay. Now, yes. So distinguish between the commercial and political. I think now you know commercial comes under Court of Directors. Political functions comes under Board of Control, BC. Commercial, what did we say? Commercial, Court of Directors, commercial and appointment. Political goes into Board of Control. So Court of Directors were allowed to manage the commercial affairs and established Board of Control to manage the political affairs. So this is called double government. I think now you understand what is this dual system. What is this dual government? Commercial affairs has to be taken care of by the Court of Directors and the political affairs has to be taken care by the Board of Control. In short, it is known as a dual system or a double government. Is this fine, ma? Next, company territories in India were for the first time called with the name British possessions in India. Very, very important. So highlight this point, in which, of course, East Indian Company territories in India for the very first time it has been called as the British possessions in India. Okay, under which act? Under Pitt's India Act. Who is Pitt? Of course, there is a William Pitt, Prime Minister during this time. Okay. So, in Pitt's India Act of 1784, it was called companies, East Indian Companies territories in India. For the very first time, it has been called as a British possessions in India. Is this fine? Next. Pitt's India Act 1784, also called the East Indian Company Act 1784, was passed by the British Parliament to correct the defects of the Regulating Act. Yes. Regulating Act of 1773. Already we have discussed one more act now. Which act which has passed to correct the shortcomings of Regulating Act? Do you remember? Can you recap? What happened, ma? Regulating Act 1773. After that 1781 Settlement Act, Amending Act. Do you remember? Yes, which has been set up for the shortcomings to correct the shortcomings of the Regulating Act. Pitt's India Act also has passed to correct the defects or the drawbacks or the shortcomings of the Regulating Act. This act resulted in dual control of the British possessions in India. How? By the British government and the company, with the final authority rest with the government. So one is that C, another one is Crown. Big B, isn't it? Company, Crown. Who is more? Of course, this is a dual system. Who is the final authority? The final authority resting with the government, that is a Crown. Okay, he is more powerful. By the British government, yes, big B. Normally, I used to say in my class, British as a big B, isn't it? Big B, and this C is that East Indian Company. Okay. by the British government and the company with the final authority resting with the government. This act continued in effect until 1858. So why did I insist on 1858? Why? Because 1858 only complete transfer of control from East Indian Company to the British Crown, from sea to sea, isn't it? From company to crown, complete taken. Hereafter nothing. We have given so much of chances for you, but you were never ever improved. It's time for you to ouch. Okay, so the transfer of complete control will happen only after the 1857 revolt. That is Queen Proclamation, Victoria's Queen Proclamation Act 1858. Okay, so this system continued till. So this act, which act? Which act? 1784 Pitt's India Act continued till 1858. Then act is named after William Pitt. He is the younger, charming and the Britain's prime minister when the act was passed. Yes, he was the youngest prime minister at the young age itself. He has climbed to the position of prime minister, isn't it? Like a student who was of 21 years and 22 years old clearing the civil service. Just like that, na? It will be so great. It will be really good if you reach your destination at a very younger age, because by the time of retirement you can reach greater heights. So always keep pushing, keep saying to yourself that yes, I have to give my best. If the expectation is 100%, try to give your 200% and try to reach the dream destination as early as possible. The sooner you get entry into the civil service, of course you have an amazing future, amazing remaining period. Okay, so make sure that think of William Pitt at the younger age he has become a prime minister, that of this British, isn't it? Parliament. Now, so what are the provisions of the 1784 Act, ma? Pitt's India Act? For political matters, Board of Control, BP, Board of Control, isn't it? For political, for commercial, Court of Directors. Court of Directors, what code we had for commercial? You wanted to do CA. What is this Court of Directors? One is the commercial affairs and another one all appointments. Rest in the hands of Court of Directors. Political affairs is taken care by the Board of Control. Am I right? This is what we have discussed till now. Yes. Created, and for commercial affairs, the Court of Directors was appointed. The Board of Control took care of a civil as well as the military affairs as well. So political, civil and military. Am I right? Board of Control took care of a civil, military and political affairs as well. It comprises of how many people? 6 people. Of course, Secretary of the State, it is a board president, Chancellor, Exchequer, number 1, number 2. So remaining 4 from the privy councillors, isn't it? In this dual system. What is the dual system of the government? Commercial affairs will be taken care by the Board of Directors and the civil, political and military affairs will be taken care by the Board of Control, isn't it? In this dual system of the control, the company was represented by the Court of Directors and the British government by the Board of Control. This is what again and again we have checked it, isn't it? The Act mandated 1784 Act mandated that all civil and military officers disclose their property in India and Britain within 2 months of their joining. Okay, this is very interesting. 1784 Act, it has also made it very compulsory that all the officers who all in the Department of the Civil as well as in military officers, they have to disclose their property in India and Britain within the 2 months of their joining. They'll be given 2 months time. Within 2 months of their joining time, they have to disclose what all the assets they have with respect to the property both in India as well as in Britain. The Governor General Council strength was reduced to 3 members. What was originally, ma'am? Originally, Governor General, he will be assisted by 4 councillors. Do you remember in Regulating Act? Yes or no? Now, this 4 has been reduced to 3. Why? To make Governor General more powerful. Yes or no? See, Governor General Council strength was reduced to 3 members. One of the 3 would be the Commander-in-Chief of the British Crown's Army in India. So now it has been reduced in 3, from 4 to 3, and one more changes in this. What? One among the 3 will be Commander-in-Chief from where? of the British Crown's army in India. So try to remember this. So there was some changes with respect to councillors as well, Governor General councillors as well. Reduction in number and also inclusion of Commander-in-Chief who has to come from the British Crown's army in India. Third point, Governor General was given the right of veto. Do you remember the Regulating Act, defects of Regulating Act? Governor General, he was not given more power. Of course, he was not given the veto power. But here, in which act he has got the veto power? In which act the Governor General is becoming more powerful? Of course, it is under 1784 Pitt's India Act. Am I right, ma? Am I right? From prelim point of view, very important. As per Regulating Act of 1773, Governor General, he was not given a veto right. Then in which act he has got a veto right? Ma'am, it is at 1784, isn't it? Yes. The presidency of the Madras and Bombay becomes subordinate to the Bengal presidency. Earlier in 1773 also the statement was there, this provision was there. But the Governor General incomplete control, isn't it? He couldn't have extended its complete control or proper efficient control. Whereas now his power is getting strengthened. So the presidencies of the Madras and Bombay. Do you remember this? GGB, Governor General of Bengal. Of course, Governor of Bombay, that is presidencies of Bombay, and Governor of Madras, presidencies of Madras, they are under the control of Governor General of Bengal. This position is getting more strengthened in 1784 Act. In effect, Calcutta became the capital of British possessions in India. Is this fine, ma'am? Is this fine till now? Are you able to follow? Features of this act, of course. This act, which act? 1784. This act made a distinction between the commercial and political. Of course, commercial court of directors, political board of control. Board of control, not only political, civil and military activities, isn't it? For the first time, the term British possessions in India was used. Under which act? In 1784 Act. This act gave the British government direct control over Indian administration. Here again, very important point. Which act was in option you might have 1781, 1773, 1813 and 1784. Okay, let us imagine option A 1773, option B 1781, option C 1813, option D 1784. Because these are all the different types of act, isn't it? Under which act for the first time the term British possessions in India, the term British possessions in India was used? Give me an answer. Of course, now you'll find it very easy, isn't it? Yes, it is Pitt's India Act. Then again we can say the British government under which act is called direct control over Indian administration. Here again it is a 1784. Then for 1773, let me ask one question. In which act, of course, we had a Supreme Court established? Supreme Court. Who is the first Chief Justice of India? Sir Elijah Impey, Chief Justice of India, isn't it? Chief Justice of India under Regulating Act. Do you remember? Supreme Court established at Calcutta. Okay, 1774. Chief Justice Sir Elijah Impey. Okay. So try to remember, very important from exam point of view. Don't miss out any point because they are extremely important. Now, as per 1784 Act, the company becomes subordinate to the British government, unlike as in the previous Regulating Act of 1773, where the government only sought to regulate matters and not take over. So what is the difference between Regulating Act of 1773 with compared to Pitt's Indian Act of 1784 with respect to company, British government power of British government. Here, the British government has only regulated and tried to monitor and control the East Indian Company Act, whereas in Pitt's India Act, the British government has gained the supreme authority. Now the East Indian Company is subordinate. See, company becomes subordinate to the British government. This is very strong. Now the power of British Crown is getting strengthened, isn't it? Whereas yearly, initially 1773, it was only a kind of monitoring and regulating. But after giving multiple warnings and every time you will lose in the war, see, in 1769 you have got defeated in the Mysore Hyderali's and again in the Maratha war. So every time you get defeated, you lose in the war, you come and stand in front of me for a loan. Then how do I trust it? So hereafter, no, just a warning. Okay, now I am taking the charge. Now I am taking a control. These are the things you have to do. Okay, so now it is getting more strengthened. Who? Crown is getting more strengthened. The company has become subordinate to the British government. Very, very important. Is this fine, ma? Is this fine? Next, this act, which Act 1784 established the British Crown's authority in what? PMC. Can we remember like this? Political, military and civil. Yes or no? The British Crown, of course, it is a board of control. It is becoming more powerful. The Act established the British Crown's authority in the civil, military administration of its Indian territories. Third point. The commercial activities were still a monopoly of company. So CC, you can remember, commercial company. Which company? East Indian Company has a monopoly, sole right with respect to the commercial activities. Why did I insist on this? Means as gradually we'll get into the Charter Act of 1813, 33, 53, we'll get to know how this company, East Indian Company, is losing its commercial rights as well. As of 1784 till 1784, it has a sole right. It has a control, complete control, monopoly over commercial. Whereas as in the subsequent acts, of course, it will lose this also. Okay, that is very interesting part. Drawbacks of this act. Which act? 1784. Yes, ma'am. This act was deemed a failure because there was no clarity on the boundaries between the company's power and the government's authority. Yes, here again, every time the failure, one of the major failure is that with respect to the power. Still now there was a feeling that there was not a clarity on the boundary between the company power as well as the government authority. Next, the Governor General had to serve two masters. So pity, na? So pity. Governor General of Bengal. Why? Above, on top of him, see, the hierarchy, if you have one boss reporting authority, it is already too headache to handle one boss. Whatever questions he asks, you have to answer. If he is in a bad mood, if he shouts, he has to undergo everything. Imagine now you have a two boss. It is like a two horns. Two horns on your head. How do you feel like? It is like horning you. It is bothering you. Yes, Governor General is so sad now. See, has to serve two masters. Who is the one master? East Indian Company. With respect to commercial things, commercial activities, everything, Governor General has to report to East Indian Company. Another one, this is called a dual system, isn't it? Another one, who is another boss? Big B, that is Crown. Okay, for the Crown, he has to, the British Crown, he has to, of course, report with respect to PMC. What is this? Political, military and civil, isn't it? So it is too difficult. I think Governor General is so sad, so pity. He has to serve the two masters. And again, there were no clear boundaries between the responsibilities of the board of the control and the court of the directors of the company. The Governor General had to take on the spot decision, exercising his discretion. So since there was always a confusion lies in with respect to the of course, boundaries and limitations. So at one point of time, Governor General, he has to exercise his discretionary power in taking a spot decision. Okay. Next. Is this fine, ma? So far we have completed. How many we have completed? Can I do only one more? Charter Act of 1786. Regulating Act of 1773. Do you remember everything? Why this act? What are the reasons and what are the provisions? What are the drawbacks? What is the second act? Settlement Act of 1781. Yes, it has come for the shortcomings, to correct the shortcomings of the Regulating Act. The third act is Pitt's India Act of 1784. We have completed till now. Can I move on to one more act? Charter Act of 1786. This act drew a clear line of distinction between the crown and the company. Very, very important, because in the drawbacks of 1784 also, what, ma'am? You said that British crown is having a more control. Yes, but still it was not a clear line of distinction was not there. Here and there were some follows. To in order to correct that drawbacks and shortcomings only, Charter Act of 1786. Charter Act drew a clear line of distinction between the crown and the company. Crown. Who is this? Big B. Okay. British and company, of course, is East Indian Company. Okay, East Indian Company. Of course, who is an ultimate authority? He is more powerful, right? Okay, now crown, this crown to company. Okay, clear line of distinction. The company become more accountable to the crown. Of course, he is Big B. He is becoming more subordinate and more accountable to the crown. Is this fine, ma? Next, in special cases, the GG, Governor General, could now override the majority of the council. Ma, what is the council number? Do you remember what is the council number as per 1784 amendment? Of course, the changes. Yes, it has reduced from 4 to 3. Why? To make Governor General more powerful. Among these three, one has to be the Commander-in-Chief from the British Army. Isn't it? Isn't it? Fine. So, in special cases, the Governor General could now override the majority of the council and act on his own special responsibility. So, the Governor General, in which act Governor General has got a veto power? Do you remember under which act of these three Governor General has got a veto power? Option A, Regulating Act of 1773. Option B, Settlement Act of 1781. Option C, Charter Act of 1786. Option D, Pitt's India Act of 1784. Under which act Governor General has got veto power? Very, very important. Governor General veto power enshrined in which act? Is it 1773? Is he got a veto power? No veto power. Yes, he got a veto power in 1784, Pitt's India Act. Am I right? Am I right? Fine. Okay. Then what about the jurisdiction of Supreme Court? Where it got, because in the shortcomings of 1773 Regulating Act, one of the shortcomings is that the jurisdiction of Supreme Court was not clearly defined. Whereas that it got corrected because separation of executive from judiciary. What is an option? Under which act there was a separation of executive from judiciary and the Supreme Court boundary has got limited to Calcutta? Got limited to Calcutta. 1781. Are you able to recap, ma? Are you able to recap? See, under Charter Act of 1786, who is becoming more powerful? Who is becoming more powerful? Of course, it is as time progress, as act progress, as years progress, there is a lose of East Indian Company role and it is a rise of. So, even we can say like this. Even we can say like this. There is a fall of company. Okay, fall of company and rise of crown. Am I right, ma? Am I right? Rise of British crown, isn't it? As time progressed from 1773 to 1781 and from as well as from 1784 and from 1786, this is Regulating Act, this is Settlement Act, this is Pitt's India Act, and of course, this is Charter Act of 1786. As years progress, definitely there is a company is losing its hold gradually, and who is becoming more powerful. As per 1786 Act, the company is East Indian Company is more of course more answerable to the British Crown, isn't it? See, of course, more accountable to the crown. The company become more accountable to the crown. In special cases, the GG could now override. The Governor General could override the council decision. Governor General Council, now it consists of 3 members. Even this 3 members decision also he can override, and he can extend his own. He can register his own. He can use his own discretionary powers, and he can give the judgment. So now it is very understood that in 1773 the role of Governor General was not so powerful. His decision was binded by whom? He was bound to the decision of Governor General. He was not for namesake only, but he was not given veto power, and he has to listen to the Governor General councillors, of course. Whereas as time progress, he is becoming more powerful. Governor General is gaining the veto power. Governor General can use his discretionary power. He can also override the majority of the councillors' decision. Are you getting it? Are you finding it interesting? Yes. So the Permanent Settlement Act, also known as Permanent Settlement of Bengal, which was an agreement between the East Indian Company and Bengali Zamindar. Do you remember in my land revenue classes we have discussed? Do you remember those things, ma? Yes, we have discussed the Zamindari system, Rayatwari system, Mahalwari system. Isn't it? If you have missed this class, please go and check my previous video. Of course, I have completed in all the platforms. I have completed in special, I have completed in YouTube as well as I have completed in Plus. Like a story way only I would have narrated that. Please go and check. Then you will have an idea with respect to the land reforms. Okay, land revenue system. Actually, the topic is land revenue system. Permanent settlement, Zamindari, Rayatwari, Mahalwari. Okay. Okay, what is this permanent settlement? Was also known as a permanent settlement of Bengal, which was an agreement between the East Indian Company and Bengali landlords. What? To fix the revenue to be raised from the land, with far-reaching consequences for both agricultural methods and productivity in the entire British Empire and political realities of the Indian countryside. Is this fine, ma? Is this fine for everyone? Of course, the next, I'm stopping with this. Okay, we'll go for a short revision, 2 minutes. Let me give you an idea what we are going to begin in the next part 2. Okay, so part 2 we'll be doing with Charter Act. Very interesting. We'll be discussing from Charter Act of 1793, 1813, 1833, 1853, 1858 and 1861. That's it. By the second part, we will be completing the remaining acts, and I think I can guarantee say that by end of this, you can, I think now, even now in the first part, you have an idea, complete idea about what is this regulating act, what is this provisions, what is this method, why the regulating has come, and what are the drawbacks of the regulating act. Who was the Governor General, ma? Who was the Governor General during the regulating act? 1773, he was Warren Hastings, isn't it? Yes, initially he was the governor of Bengal in 1772, then in 1773 has become a governor general. Then you know what all happened under that. Then which has culminated to Settlement Act of 1781. You should remember it is an act for to correct the shortcomings of the regulating act as well as the separation of executive from judiciary. Under this act only, the Supreme Court limit has been set, isn't it? The jurisdiction of the Supreme Court to Calcutta has been set under 1781. And 1784, very, very important bits in the act because it brought so many changes, and the power of Governor General has increased and was also loosening the control of East Indian Company. In one word, you just remember, as year progress, as act progress, fall of East Indian Company, okay, rise of crown, rise of British crown, isn't it? Big B, British crown, okay. So you should also are able to recap the terms, ma. Let me say board of control, court of directors, okay, code of directors, C, CD, what? CA. What CA? They have a responsibility, or of course, the monopoly of commercial rights lies with the East Indian Company. That is the Code of Directors. And Board of Control, under them, they'll take care of a political, civil, and military. Are you able to recap? Are you able to recap everything? And what has happened? When does the Governor General got the veto power? Under which act he has got the veto power? Of course, he has got the act under 1784. I think we had an enough discussion with all these. Is it fine, Ma? Are you finding it easy? I don't see. Next, what we are going to do in the second slot, these are the topics we are going to discuss. Very, very interesting and important. This is one of the most important topic for your prelim as well as for your mains. Okay. Make sure that you will have a complete control over this. In a story format only we have tried. So this is the distinction Charter Act of 1786, majority, everything. Is this fine, Ma? Yes. Can I wind up? So, of course, be regular. I think I'm just flipping through the pages. Can you recap this? All points we have discussed: Board of Control, Code of Directors, Pitt India Act, various laws, East Indian Company, Maratha War. So that is the reason for the Pitt India Act. Again, he go and stand in front of the British Parliament, isn't it? So we have seen so many stories like this. Settlement Act, see, one is the separation of executive and judiciary. It is also known as a Declaratory Act, and company employees were under both the Governor General of Bengal and Supreme Court. Geographical jurisdiction of Supreme Court got limited to Calcutta. Here it is. Very, very important. Apart from this, I forget to say this point in revision. Religion-based laws. For the first time, religion-based laws were established. That is a separate law for Hindu and Muslim law system came into force. Now we are asking for uniform civil code, isn't it? As per the directive principles of state policies under liberal principles. Okay, so the Governor General issue rules ordinance. So this is how you have to remember. Just I'm moving through. Just remember or able to recap the core points with respect to regulating act, why this act, provisions. Is this fine, Ma? Is this fine for everyone? Yes or no? That's good. See, Lord Hastings. So who's this Governor General? You can't say Governor of Bengal. You should say Governor General of Bengal. Under him, Governor of Bombay, Governor of, they are just, see, Bombay and Madras, they are just a governor. But for Bengal, Governor General, he is higher position, isn't it? Of course, dual system. So everything you would have, I think you can recap all these points. Am I right, my dear? Am I right? So in this, you do the revision part. The next will be continuing in the second slot. Hope you enjoyed the session. Don't forget to leave the comment. Okay. Use my code DL10 and go for the enrollment without any further delay, because many awesome courses, especially all my plus classes, are used to focus more on answer writing. Okay. Mains ready. Even in my plus special class also I started doing it. So keep following me on a regular basis. Fine, Ma. The second part we'll be covering from Charter Act. Okay, entire Charter Act 1793, 1813, 1833, 1853, 1858 Act. Okay, and 1861 as well. I'll try to get it done in the second part. Okay. Hope you enjoyed the session. Until then, it's bye from your GL Ma'am. Good luck. Good day. Bye bye. Stay connected. Thank you. Thank you, Ma'am. Okay, shall I wind up this session? Good. Do you have anything to say? Thank you.